What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the WebBuzz podcast. I'm your host, Shawn joined as always by the guy that can literally influence Google at TRC. My man, Roger. What's going on, brother? I thought of that one earlier, and I was like, I'm going to throw that one at him this week. What's going on? How's your morning going?
Oh man, no, that was a great introduction. Every week, I'm always kind of waiting to see what you got, man. So you get that confidence going. So I love it. No, having a good day over here, man. Once again, coming to you guys from the Pacific over here in Guam. We have a little bit of a rainy day today, but it's a good change from the beautiful sunshine and everything. We got a little bit of rain out there in that window, but other than that, I'm pumped and ready to go once again with another good podcast here. We got a great topic for today, but yeah, man, happy to be here.
Well, I'm going to blame your crap weather on the West Coast's crap weather. We've got like hurricane force winds coming out of the desert blowing across the valley right now. It's been knocking out power lines and all kind of stuff around here. It is like everybody else is always jealous of our weather, but right now, so I think we're blowing all that nastiness over your way.
Yeah, no, I think I should be blaming you guys, right? Because we're just a little tiny island, man. It's like when it comes our way, it comes hard. So it seems like it's pretty calm right now, though. But other than that, we can't complain. Most of the days are beautiful out here, so it's a good times.
Absolutely. Well, as always, guys, if you're joining us live, drop us a little comment in there. Let us know you're here. Say hello. How's everything going on your end? And as Roger said, we have definitely got something awesome for you guys, mainly because it's actually awesome on multiple fronts. First off, the content we're going to get into today, if you just listen and take a tiny bit of action on what we're going to get into, you're going to see some massive results. You're going to see some things change. You're going to start driving some leads in your business from some of your efforts. The other side of the awesomeness is TRC is growing a little bit. What TRC is capable of, who we've got in our corner. And I know we got the opportunity to share this with a lot of our clients on Monday night, but we're about to introduce you guys to some new partners of Top Results Consulting, some people that I've got a deep relationship that goes way back. Roger's got a relationship that goes way back. Another one of them, we've just gotten to know her and just blown away with everything that she's been able to bring to the table and showcase. And I'm excited to be able to offer this out, not just to our current clients, but those that have been out there looking at it and they know they want to move the needle in their business in 2021, whether that's with a website, whether it's with social aspects, whether it's driving more leads, converting better, whatever the case it is. Got kind of a full spectrum now of it. So anything you want to throw in there? I didn't want to give too much away. Anything you want to add though, Roger, before we introduce the main event?
Absolutely. And once again, we don't want to get too much away, steal any of the thunder, right? Because we want them to kind of come out here and drop some gold bars here for us, for our audience here. So what I do want to say is, like, obviously TRC, as Shawn was just mentioning, we're growing, and our vision has always been and always will be to kind of build a good set of services, a good set of resources for everybody that can utilize them, right, for their online presence. And it's not just one thing. If you've been following along, or if you study a little bit of digital marketing, it's not one thing that drives your presence online. It's a multitude of things that you need happening at one time. And we like to call it the ecosystem, right? You got your main website, your main brand in the middle, and you need to have noise happening around it and pointing back to it. So I think this particular topic today is going to really open a lot of people's eyes on the importance of it and how it can help your brand. So we'll leave it at that, just so we can have our guests here give a little more from that and drop some gold bars around that stuff.
100%. And I don't know, man, you're going to have to slow down. Maybe you had a couple too many coffees. That was a big word. Would you say multitude?
I think I screwed it up too. It's like multitude.
That was a big word. Way too many coffees. But anyway, I feel like we need a drum roll. Don't have a way of doing it other than just drum rolling it myself. I forgot to get that little clip piece in here, but if you guys would give us a warm welcome out there in the virtual space for Mr. John Paul and Jessica from Social Soaring, our proud new partners in crime here at Top Results, and everything that we're going to be doing for our clients. I'm going to go ahead and bring them into the stream. We got JP coming in. And we've got Jessica. What's up, my friends? How are you guys?
What's up, guys?
Hi,
Doing
thank you so much
good.
for having us. We're
Yeah, no
excited to be
doubt.
here.
For sure.
So before we get diving into too much the juice, right? I want take a second, just real quick. JP, I'll have you go first, then Jessica or Jessica, whoever wants to go first on this. Just kind of give a quick introduction, a little bit about your background and just what it is that you guys do on a daily basis. On the social soaring side, obviously, we're going to get into a lot of content here in a second, but just a little background on who you are, your experience, and that piece of things for everybody.
Take it away.
For sure. Ladies first. Ladies first. Go ahead, Jessica.
So we are Social Soaring. We have been around probably for about 3 years all told now, and as a legitimate company with these real estate services for a little over a year. So we do posting packages, we provide growth, we provide just mainstreaming consistency for your business across social media platforms, and we do it at a realistic price for realistic people. And we just, we're real and we bring real results for real people is really what we do.
Really? Yeah.
Really.
If you didn't know, folks, it's for the real people.
It's
real
for
people.
real. For Rizio. All right. Well, awesome. So I'm the other half of Social Soaring. My name is John Paul. I am an entrepreneur at heart. I started off in real estate, and I quickly realized that my social media was no longer best used for personal use. It was a great tool to build my business. So I quickly shifted to using all these social platforms to build my business. And through those years, as I was doing that, I found that my time on social media wasn't always, or my time wasn't always best spent on social media. So I started to look to outsource my social media. And through all that, I went through all the pain of trying to find virtual assistants, trying to hold them accountable, and trying to give them, content. I felt like I was still doing a lot of the work. And so through all of that pain, I found Jessica. She actually was somebody who was an answer to my prayer on the social media side. And she worked with my real estate social media for about 2 years. And then we quickly realized that what we were doing for our real estate company was outperforming a lot of other people. So, we said, hey, why don't we create a product? Let's just replicate what we're doing on our side and now offer it to a bunch of different real estate investors, because I knew that a lot of these other investors were going through the same thing. So we created Social Soaring as a group back in the beginning of 2020. And since then, we've expanded beyond real estate. We do, everything from real estate to Jessica. You have a ton of different, you've got a printing account. There's a lot of different services and industries that we cover.
Non-profits that we cover. We have 10 different staffing agencies. So we're definitely, large and in charge. And we have a little secret book coming out pretty soon, not by us, but we were promoting a book deal. So that's pretty cool. And then some power bars, all kinds of different industries. So
yep,
definitely broadening our horizons.
I love it. And JP, you better slow down on the accolades. Jessica's going to end up throwing an invoice at you. All of that sharing.
No, I think we were honestly very lucky to find one another, because in business, when you find two people that think differently but can come together and see each other's sides is a rarity. So I think that's why our partnership is so wonderful.
I would second that like crazy. Just in the dynamic that Roger and I have here at Top Results, because I think it's safe to say we both do look at things slightly different, but we see the value on both ends, and it's a true testament of what's taken shape because of it. And that's, I think, why I'm so excited about what we got going here, because now we've got 4 involved, and there's definitely a clear difference in the thinking and the thought process and the reasons, but it's all in a positive way, which kind of leads me right into the first piece. And I'm gonna fire some questions out. And Roger, if you got questions around these topics, feel free to jump in and shoot them out as well. And whoever wants to take them, Jessica or JP, you guys can kind of decide on that part. But I want to start with, in this day and age, right? Today's kind of a kind of a weird dynamic of a day to begin with. It's the inauguration day. It's 2021. We're still in this pandemic that's got a lot of businesses shut down in some spots, other spots maybe not so much. But really, in the last 12 months, business has changed. The way business gets conducted has changed. We see it like crazy from the SEO side, right? Google and just the importance of the way your user experience is on your websites. But a lot has also changed in the social end of things. And I want to start with why, as a business owner, put yourself in a position. You're a brand new business. You've been in business maybe for a bit of time. You're trying to figure this out on your own. Why is social media such a crucial element in the overall success of that lead generation piece of things?
Me or you, sir?
So go for it. I've got some stats that I want to throw at some people, but go ahead, Jessica.
Okay. First of all, I think let's discuss marketing in general. So you're talking about 12 months ago, maybe people marketed a different way. And, even 10 years before that, they marketed completely differently. This is a free marketing tool that you can use immediately with your business and implement it with no upfront costs whatsoever, and put your brand out there and start to gain recognition in and around your own space. So it's absolutely free. And it is the way that the majority of people look up new businesses nowadays anyway. If you look up a business, where are you getting it from? Your phone. So then you're automatically on Google. If they don't have ratings or it doesn't take you to their Facebook, you're automatically thrown off, right? And you're like, oh, I'll go to the next one. I don't know about that. It's just the way we see the world.
Yeah, it goes back to the authority. Basically, just kind of chime. We've been talking about this like crazy, just building that authority around your brand. So the social media aspect is major. I mean, I do it all the time. I go on there. If I find somebody, I find some information. First thing I want to do is go find the ratings. To Jessica's point, right? It's like, hey, has anybody left any type of reviews? And then the other thing, I want to go see what type of postings they have. Maybe they have a sale, right? That's one of the things we look for. It's like maybe they have some kind of promotion or something like that. So that's a great point, Jessica.
And I'm just going to recap, or not recap, but reiterate. When you say free, you're talking about the social platforms are free.
Oh, absolutely. Not like paid marketing. No. But just to get your foot out there and to have your own, so to speak, like storefront space, right? Mm-hmm. Because people don't have a common place where they go. And I say it all the time. There's no town square. There's no place to go walk around and allow people to see your business out there like that anymore. That's not the way that the world is working right now. So in order to get out there and be a part of your community and let people know that you are available, it's through social media. That's where people are going to check you out. They're not going to come knocking on your door with gloves on and a mask.
What I tell you guys last night, I said, didn't I tell you?
She's going to say that.
I think she's going to say that. Yeah, and it's a great analogy. I mean, and I think that, if you look at the makeup of, I'm going to throw a couple stats at you guys. So first of all, in 2020, there were 3.5 billion social media users worldwide. 3.5 billion. That is a ridiculous number. And Facebook is by far the most popular social media platform. So what that tells me and your users is that, and your listeners, is that Facebook is a must. Regardless of what you think about social media, Facebook is a must in your business.
You mean TikTok's not the thing? Instagram's not the thing? Facebook still leads it.
Yeah, well, listen, it's so Facebook still leads it. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if you look at all the different platforms, and we could probably on this call can all attest to this, that Facebook is the most user-friendly to businesses when it comes to, all the different things that you can do, tracking stats and joining groups and posting and sharing and all that other stuff. So I think Facebook is definitely by far the leader in the number, like you have to be on Facebook regardless. So the other thing that I wanted to point out, which is why it's so important to be on these social media sites, is that users spend an average, this was in 2020, users spend an average of 3 hours per day on social media. 3 hours per day on social media. That is huge. I mean, if you think about the amount of time that most people are awake, 3 hours, that's almost like that's 20% of people's day. And if you're
Talk
not
about the retargeting opportunities within that, just in social media. So they're on Facebook, bam, you retarget them on LinkedIn, bam. How many times can you hit them in those 3 hours that they're on there?
My girlfriend absolutely hates that.
When you go from one place to another to another?
Not even just going one place to another, the retargeting end of things. And I bite my tongue, and babe, if you're watching this live or watch it later on a replay, I'm sorry, but I bite my tongue because I'm like, if you weren't on it so much,
it wouldn't be happening to you.
Wouldn't be showing up in your feed. It should be like, I literally just thought about that, and now it's on my Instagram, it's on my Facebook, it's on this, it's on that, it's showing up.
You said it.
You fell into the trap.
Yep.
So awesome point right there. I didn't mean to completely interrupt there, but when you said that, I see her just standing there right now going, anything else, JP? Any other stats?
No, yeah. Believe me, I've got a ton of stats. Obviously, I think that if we can look at the stats and where we came from, and especially you made the point, Shawn, like 2020 was completely different. People were shut inside their house, so they took to their online devices. And a lot of that time, a lot of people, when they're going to try to find things that they want to interact with and buy, they're looking for influencers to help them decide what they want. Right. And so where do these influencers go? They go onto social media like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And that's how they're influencing people to follow them. And so, our businesses are no different. We need to capitalize on that opportunity to be able to influence our people to follow us, because we're trying to take them to the promised land. Right. I mean, like what we're doing is trying to help them build their business and their dream through influencing people on social media. So yeah, I think that it's you said something about Instagram Reels and all that. So 500 million daily active Instagram stories are uploaded. 500 million stories are uploaded. It's crazy to see what's going on social media. So, and we can get into some more stats later, but it's just like the stats are just staggering. So if you're not online, you are missing out.
Yeah, we talked about that ecosystem I mentioned earlier about around your brand, right? And it's like, if you're not on social media, that is a huge arm of a resource that you can be putting out there to pretty much amplify your brand name, right? So that's why, why everybody on this call probably is super excited, right? Because it's kind of like that merger. Number one, kind of like what Jessica said towards the beginning of the call, is we found each other. We found a group of people that are like-minded, that can work together, right? We don't all think alike, and that's actually important that we don't think alike. We all have our own ideas, but we bring them together and create something resourceful, right? Something good, something that can be helpful. So I think that's major. Yeah.
So actually, Roger, speak on this real fast. I'm a new business, and I get it. Okay, social media is a must. I hate it. I can't stand it. I think JP, you even said that on Monday night on our call with all of our clients. Like, if it wasn't for business, I don't think I'd even be on it, other than a very select amount of family or close friends kind of thing. But all right, I get it. I need to have it. Now, I'm also seeing I got one person pulling my arm over here saying, I got to worry about my website and the blogs. And Shawn and Roger, you guys on this WebBuzz podcast all the time are talking about all this stuff from an optimized side over here. Now you're pulling me over here and saying I got to spend some time on the social platforms. And I'm sure, Jessica, you can even chime in on this as well. Why the blend? Why is there such a power in a very structured blend of social and a lot of the SEO stuff that we talk about?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And the easy part is because it basically builds that that authority, right? There's like there's mentions about your brand out on the internet. So at the end of the day, when we're looking at SEO, and we're looking at social media, and we're looking at building our brand in general, right? Just everything like that. What happens is we're trying to put our name out there as much as possible. That's basically the gist of it. So with SEO, we concentrate on keywords. We try to put all this content, and it's all optimized with keywords, meaning we have keywords within your content on your websites. So when Google actually scans the website, it's a robot, it's a machine. So what it's looking for is phrases, key phrases that then it could index when someone goes on Google, like all of us do. We ask a question. Now Google has kind of like a repository it can go to and then give a result, the best possible result. And usually they have a criteria, right? A criteria of what results can be number one, number two, number three. And that's why we get into the page one, page two, or whatever it might be, right? Now, you might ask, all right, well, now we're into social media. Why, right? Why are we doing this? Well, part of that criteria, there's like 200 known factors that we look at when it comes to ranking factors on Google. Well, one of them, or actually they're a part of that criteria, multiple, is basically mentions, right? It's like, how many social mentions do you have? Because Google's starting to get very smart on where people are at. It's all about where people are at. And people are searching on social media, and they're trying to figure out who the best person is in this particular query, right? This particular keyword search. So the way they're going to do that, they're going to try to kind of look everywhere, and the best information they get, the most information they get about a person, a certain brand, is the one they're going to give the priority to. So when it comes to putting your brand out there, I mean, we've seen it over and over and again. Social media is the way to really syndicate your brand out to millions very, very quickly. So why not utilize those platforms, right? To basically tell Google, I am an authority in my space, and then put content out there that is very useful for your audience, so they can then comment on there. And that's going to tell Google that there's people pretty much trusting your brand as well. So that way, when people search for certain keywords on Google, it will utilize those criteria to rank you higher. So it has a major, major play when it comes to Google rankings as well.
So you say it's the social mentions, right, is a big piece of it. So I'm going to throw a kind of a funky one over at Jessica and JP here. That, to me, right, I'm going to play devil's advocate here for a second. I'm the new business owner. I don't know much. Roger's telling me I got to get social mentions, so I could just run around and get a bunch of people to talk about my business on social platforms, and that's all it's going to take? Or is there a more... Well, answer that part first, then we'll go into the second piece, because I want to take it a certain way there.
Okay. I'm just going to start real quick because I want to just backtrack to Roger's previous point.
Yep.
And pretty much just say, in addition to just mentions, they are looking for individual API codes that you can use the exact same keywords to just jump your Google ranking even higher right there. So using these API codes on at least 3 out of the 4 major social networks right now is absolutely going to help you. And no, you can't just say like, hey, Shawn, what's up? You have to make sure that we are tagging people's pages properly and that they are getting the credibility and respect that they deserve. And we can even now start like adding more backlinks to they start counting. So all of that are little clicks on those spiders that Roger was talking about, that he's going to send out, those 200 little spiders that are going to crawl your website, and they're going to determine where you rank in the algorithm. Those are just little pieces of the puzzle that social media can help connect for you.
Yeah, it's actually, let me jump in here real quick, Shawn. So before I lose that thought, because that was awesome right there. Because when we first started, Jessica kind of mentioned, started kind of off with the free platform, like free, right? That's when you jumped in. It's like,
yep.
Well, she's right. Basically, the point we're trying to make, anybody can go on social media. They're not paid. You can go on there, set this stuff up, set your brand up, and get the ball rolling. What we're trying to basically put out there, and what we've found, JP just mentioned at the beginning, he's done it with his business. We've done it with ours. Jessica obviously is an expert in this space, is how can you take that to the next level? If you already know that data is there, that resource is there, there are ways to take it to the next level. So if you got lost completely on the last maybe minute when Jessica was just talking about the APIs, that's the next level. That's what's missing. When you got to a certain point yourself with the free version and what your knowledge, then it's time to take some steps, right? And that's where a product in this partnership and these services that we offer with social media come into play. You can take your game on social media to that next level.
I'll be honest, I'm one of the ones that got lost on the API side, but folks,
Oh, me too. Me
this
too.
is exactly, yeah. See, maybe it's the bald guy with beard, I don't know, thing, but I got
Don't worry about
lost.
it. Jessica got your back.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, this is why you align yourself and partner with good people, or you bring in the right companies into your business to help. Because, man, I mean, I kind of know what an API is, but when you threw out I could use APIs on social media, I was like, huh? What the heck is that?
Boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
Exactly.
And it's the little things, guys. It's the little, tweaks that you do to your campaigns or your strategy or whatnot that make the big differences, the big jumps. So it's just as small as that. It's like we mentioned, something that we're used to, APIs all day, right? It's like we talk about those things all day, but yet people get a little lost and they're intimidating. Why? Because they're strips of code, right? They're pieces of code that need to be added to a website or whatnot. So some of those things that are a little intimidating, they never get done because they get put in the back burner, which those are the little things that get you to that next level. So just kind of reiterating there that you can we encourage you to get out there, set things up, try it yourself, get yourself to a certain level and get stuck, and then look for an agency that can take you to that next level. And that's basically what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think that it's important to have people like Roger and Jessica on the back end because it allows people like me and Shawn to concentrate on like the vision and the personality and the things that people know, like, and trust about our business, the outward facing stuff. And that's kind of like where, me and Jessica have found our yin and yang is I really like to concentrate on the branding of the company through, just being honest. And here's where I think that social media and the websites play hand in hand is like your social or your website absolutely has the opportunity to establish your brand, your credibility, your authority. And for the most part, you have some static photos that you might show that you're credible doing what you do. You might have some videos of some testimonials or you even helping somebody out in the community doing what you do. But what social media can do is it can be a very fresh, daily, weekly, monthly content that shows what people are looking for when they're trying to decide whether they're doing business with you or not. So the top 3 things that people are looking for on social media through your business is they want to make sure that they're dealing with somebody who's honest, who's friendly, and Roger, you said it, helpful, right? So those are the top 3 things that people are looking for. Can they get that through your website? Absolutely. Can they get even more in depth through your social media because you're just being you, honestly and genuinely, because you care, because you started a business that aligns with something inside of you that wants to help people do something? Absolutely. And so that's why I think that social media and the branding part of it is so important because it's just more, there's more ability to be able to update and have clarity in your message on a daily basis.
So what you just said was social media is Roger at the party when he met his wife, now wife. And these two are probably like, oh, well,
The
you're
wine?
You're going to have to go back and listen
The wine?
to the wine.
What?
As soon as JP said they want to do business with somebody they like, they trust, all this stuff, it was like she was in the corner and she eventually liked and trusted Roger. It was a big thing that we got into last week. Roger had no idea we were going to dissect his life history of the day he met his wife, now wife, from that point all the way through, and translate that into marketing of your business
through a digital marketing conversation. Somehow how I met my wife turned into
it's all
example.
psychology, right?
100%.
Exactly.
100%. If you guys are out there like, what the heck are they talking about? Just go back to episode number 9, the WebBuzz podcast over on Top Results website. You'll be able to watch Roger turn blood red in the middle of a podcast episode. But anything on that before I throw another question? Because I got 1 or 2 more here.
I have one more little thing. So
on Roger's relationship?
No, it's kind of back to your point and Roger's before that. So you were talking, and a lot of people say that and I guess I'm real big on like analogy. So bear with me here, folks. So if you think of your business as a car, right? And they say that you need at least 4 to 7 things to start to make this thing start to turn as far as marketing is concerned. Well, your website might be one wheel to the car, and your Facebook might be another, and you might be able to grab blogs as a third, and your fourth might be your LinkedIn. But this is an easy way to put 4 wheels on the car and get it to pick up the pace. You get what I'm saying? And then when it's time to add on the accessories, now we can add in a turbo pack. So that's kind
When
of
do we throw the nitrous?
The boost
yeah,
That's what
boosting.
some
There you
people
go.
out there are like,
I like
where's
it.
the nitrous button?
from the guy that looks like Vin Diesel.
Right. I was gonna say Fast and the Furious.
Ah,
Right on, right
watch it,
on.
buddy.
And
Watch it.
before
I got
we
the
move
button
on,
to remove.
Oh.
Go
hey,
ahead,
Shawn,
Rob.
before we move on, there was one point I also want to throw in there that I think it's important as well as we talk about the branding, social media, and the importance of getting out there and putting that out. But I think one of the things that we loved about partnering with Social Soaring was the uniqueness. Right? It's like at the end of the day, there's agencies out there that do. And Shawn, we went and we looked and we were trying to figure this out as well because we knew we needed this piece in our agency. So when we went out, there's a lot of stuff out there that's just getting recycled, right? And one of the things that we loved about the partnership here is that it's unique content based on your industry, based on your business. I think that is huge because when it comes to SEO, just speaking to my portion in our agency is with SEO, we're looking for unique content, right? That's what's going to really set you apart because we're all essentially selling something and there's going to be multiple businesses selling the same product or doing the same service. So you got to be able to find those little opportunities to make yourself unique. So if you're just recycling, stuff that's out there saying the same thing that everybody else is saying or putting out the same post, for example, right? Then you're not going to get those 4 wheels moving to Jessica's point, right? One's going to spin faster than the other. But if you have uniqueness and you have everything, you have a website that has unique content that's, very optimized, boom, it's moving. Then you have a social media that's working together with that website, right? And everything is turning. Now you got a car moving, right? So I think that was a big point that we got to drive home because those are the things that set this program apart from a lot of those other programs that are out there.
So you're basically saying we now got 4 round wheels and not a couple round and a triangle wheel where it's a little bumpy on the road.
Exactly.
Which actually, you bring up a great point. And it was actually the direction that I was about to take it. JP, you mentioned this earlier. You like to really focus a lot on the branding side of things, right? So I'm back to that new business owner. All right, it makes sense. I get it. I'm gonna have to deal with social media. All right, makes sense. I get it. There's got to be a strategy and an element of all of this that kind of cohesively brings my message together. So can I just go and just slap whatever all over the place and get it done as long as it fits the element, or should there be a brand piece of it? Meaning, should people recognize my blue over somebody else's blue?
Yeah. Jessica, what's my blue? Jessica, it's 38 BBFF, right? Is that right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, no, that's a great point.
Are we talking hexadecimals now? I can definitely get into this conversation.
TRC red,
there we go.
CC0000.
No, but see, like that's important, right? Because that is your brand. Like everything that you put out has some form of your personality and your brand on that content because you believe that what you're putting out brings value to the people that you're trying to target. And so what you are wanting is that when people when they see that color, they're like, all right, that's a top results consulting post. Let me read that. Right. That's something that always brings value. And so the branding and, Roger, you were talking about this at the beginning of the podcast, which is I say it's having congruency and consistency across all platforms, whether it's your website, whether it's your social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You want people, it's about that user experience, right? So when they find you on your website and they click on your social button on your website and they go to your social media, if it doesn't have the same colors, the same fonts, the same logos, they're going to get confused. They're going to probably think like, whoa, like, where did I just go? Because we all know spam is bad right now, right? Like you can click on something and you're down a rabbit hole and you don't even know where you're at, right? And that's the last thing that you want for anybody that you're trying to work with is. And so that user experience of having them go through any platform that you're on, they know that they're working with Top Results Consulting or Social Soaring or whatever brand they're in, because the branding is the same on all those platforms.
To his point also, it is it's just, it's like a storefront and people get first impressions. So people can walk up and they can see that you haven't cleaned your front stoop in 6 months, just like you haven't posted in 6 months. And then that's an expectation that you're setting for your brand out there. So that's very negative too, to go out there or post 20 things in a day and then not for 2 weeks. And you are representing your brand, not yourself at that point, and you kind of are doing so erratically.
I love that. It takes me back to, we're going to go dating here for a second. It's like you haven't showered, shaved, done anything, cleaned yourself up, and you show up to the party. I highly doubt anybody's going to, well, they're going to be aware that you're there, but it's the wrong awareness that you're going for. So to that point, right, I might become aware of that product or service, that company, and I get to their Facebook page or their Instagram page, and it's like, oh, cool, you've got one post in your entire existence, and you've been in business for how many years, right?
I don't know how many times I've gone to a business, like looked them up online, and I go to our social media just to see what's going on, and I see their last post was in 2009 or 2008, and then they have 10 followers. Yet I was very excited because maybe I found them on Google, right? Maybe I found them, everything was legit till I got there, and that's a huge turnoff for a lot of people. So that's why it's like, even though on our end we push a lot on the website, you have to. It's going back to, I love Jessica's analogy there, their example, because you do have to have those wheels turning right at the same time. So if one's missing, you might be have somebody through that funnel going in the right direction, and then they hit something that they don't like, and boom, you lost them.
Yeah, so it creates doubt, right? Like you go on there and you're like, wow, what did they have, like a lawsuit or something? Is something going on with this business? Like no one
they're
on
closed,
here, right?
Especially with everything that's COVID, you don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they closed.
You're like, well, I don't want to be the one to test to see if this company's still open, so I'm just going to go find somebody else, right? So it just creates doubt.
So that kind of brings me to the final point here, because we hear this one a lot. I'm sure you guys have heard it as well, and there's some people out there, when I say this, they're going to be like, oop, yep, that was me. I've said that. And we just kind of hit on this. Okay, I need to have all these consistent posts, and I've been doing it. I've been posting like crazy, but I don't get anything from it. I don't get any actual, like, nobody's calling me or picking up the phone and reaching out or filling out a form out, going to my website and saying it was Facebook or Instagram that got me there. What would you say to that person as to why is this still so important, even though you feel like maybe that person didn't actually come from, or they're not out there broadcasting, hey, I'm coming to you because of that Facebook post that you put out, or JP, that blue was so good, it made me come to you. I think he's throwing it at you, Jessica.
Oh, we're both like,
looking
we're
at
both
you
muting and unmuting.
Yeah.
So as far as people coming like directly from Facebook, I think that you have to make sure that you have a cadence and a purpose behind what you're doing. You can't just go like you're going to a party and just go running in the front door and like knocking things over like a bull in a china shop. It doesn't work that way. So just like friendship, a lot of times you have to give people more than you can take. So you need to be giving people things. You have to give them all other reasons to look at your page other than just, this is my product, this is my product, this is my product. So it's like, yeah, that's awesome. What can I do with it? How does this benefit me? What else am I getting from being here? Otherwise, I'm not going to make it a thought to slow down, to stop at Top Results page if I don't get something from it when I'm going there in return. So there has to be a strategic plan of action behind it, where about 80% of the time you are giving your audience something. Only 20% of the time are you asking them to go to a website, to go somewhere, to sign up for something. And then when you do, you put the power behind that post.
You just nailed my pet peeve of real estate investors. The pet peeve of, I buy houses, I will give you cash, call me right now. And I always relate this to, you just were a bull. I will use your part of the analogy. You were the bull in the china shop. You bombarded into the party, and you looked at every, in my case, I looked at every woman in there, and then within 10 seconds of seeing them, I said, let's get married. Let's have kids. Let's get married. You want to marry tomorrow? How many kids you want today? It's not going to work very well in your favor. And the person that does says yes to that probably isn't the one you want saying yes.
No doubt. 100%, right? Not the right client.
So you were about to unmute, I think, JP. Was there something you wanted to add on that one?
Yeah. So, your the example that you gave is that, people like they post, we'll just call it stuff. Who knows what it is on their social media, whether it's their business or their personal, and they're wondering why they're not getting interaction. And I've seen a lot of people, and me and Jessica have talked to a lot of people. Two things. One, they'll just find some post that they found interesting, like so a guy grilling a hot dog over a toilet with a screen on it and calling it a redneck barbecue, and they post that on their social media page. Like, what is that really doing? What is that saying about what you are providing to the people that are coming to your page, right? So I think it's clarity of the message of what your brand is extremely important. So we see that a lot where people, they post the wrong things. Or the other thing we see is that people just kind of, they say, well, we don't post because we don't know what to post. So they get stuck on this analysis paralysis. They have all these things that they can all these potential posts that they can put, but they don't know how to craft the message, right? It's not just about the graphic. It's not just about the message that's in above the graphic. It's not just about the hashtags that are targeting certain people. It's a combination of all of that. And a lot of people, they don't understand how to make it all work. So they just don't do it. They know the value of it. And so they go and they're like, oh, this is probably how you do it. And they post that picture of the toilet, but it's really, they've missed the entire point. And so we get a lot of that. And that's where we really specialize in. We say, okay, look, here's your industry. Here's the key words you should probably be targeting. Here's the message. Here's the clarity that you should probably be having on your social media. Does that match with what you have on your website? And that's what's so great about this relationship. This is what me and Jessica are the most excited about, is that we're going to be working very, very closely with your team. And you guys are doing all of the Google Analytics and finding out what keywords are ranking in that specific industry. And now we can take what you guys are doing on your website and incorporate that into our graphics, into our verbiage, into our hashtags, in the entire package that we could provide on the social side. So I think that, I think our relationship on what we do is going to be dynamite for all of our clients.
So the good news, folks, if you start working with us, or those that are already are going to be working with us, you won't have any redneck barbecue photos on your social platform.
Unless you're selling.
I was about to say, I don't know.
Unless you're selling
barbecues, yeah.
I don't know what was just said right there, but at least
it's an old post. It's
yeah.
Hey, listen, if there are people that are listening that sell redneck barbecues, I want to do your social media, please.
I think it would be fun.
Billy Bob's barbecue.
Oh my gosh.
I could come up with some redneck DIY stuff, y'all. You better watch it. I'm outside Nashville.
Oh, look at her. She's busting out the redneck language now. Y'all. All right. So anything you guys want to throw in here real quick before we start to wrap it down? And I have one more question around this whole conglomeration here, this big relationship. But anything you want to hit on that maybe we've talked about and it just popped in your head kind of thing?
Yeah. I think that there's one more thing that makes us a valuable foursome. And I think that all four of us truly believe in servant leadership. And I think that
well said.
That is a rare quality to find in people. So I think it's pretty amazing that we all truly believe that.
I love it. I love it. I definitely well said right there. You caught me off guard at the onset of that. Wow, it's such a great foursome. Well, but I will 100% second that piece of it.
Thank you.
So.
I didn't mean to scare anybody there.
I was like, "Uh-oh, where's she going?"
Dude, we're real people
Keeping
doing
it
real things.
G
Real people doing real things with real things for
with
real
real
people.
things and real people. We really are.
Awesome. So, all right, final question that I'm gonna throw it out there. I get it. It all makes sense, right? And I'm just trying to figure out, is this the right step for my business? Is it the right next step, I should say, for my business? What do you say to that person?
Are you ready to grow?
Short, sweet, to the point.
Because honestly, if you're not ready to grow and maybe you can't take on more clients right now, then maybe promoting that way is not really for you. But if you are ready to grow and you do want to get your brand recognized and give people a way to contact you and easy ways to get in touch with you, then this is the way to do it.
JP?
So my question, now that we're in 2021, coming out of 2020, would be, if not now, then when? If you're not willing to do it now, then when are you ever going to be willing to do it?
Roger, throw you on the spot too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my brain's going on both of these answers here, because when we get asked a lot on the website and SEO side, it's like, well, what does this do? And our answers, there's a lot of different answers we can give based on what's going on with that business. But at the end of the day, when you have a good presence online, you get put in front of the right client, right? The right leads, the right avatar for your business. So when we look at social media and we look at this partnership and what social media can do, and to both of their answers, right? If you're already doing that on Google, right? You already have the right stuff on your website. You're getting put in front of the right avatar, right? The right ideal client. Now, are you ready to grow? To Jessica's point, you're there. Are we ready to take that next step? Right? And we'll leave it there. That's basically how this partnership goes. If you're ready to go, let's do it.
Yeah, and I'll finalize it with, if 2020 wasn't enough of a wake-up call. And I don't just mean the COVID side of things. I'm talking, take a look, just really take a hard look at everything that went on throughout 2020. Take a look at the impact that social media and online has had in every element of it. And I said this way back in 2016. 2016, social media, that was the first time social media played such a heavy influence on something in America that is probably the most sacred thing and the most prestigious thing, and that was the presidential election, right? It was the reason President Trump got elected, was social media. Social media also now in 2020 was the exact reason why not only the election, but all the other elements around it, and just the unrest, and just, again, it showed its face, and I think it came back even harder in 2020 than it did in 2016 in something that powerful. And I've always been a big proponent that if it can do that in spaces like politics and the unity of a nation, or de-unity of a nation, if you leverage it the right way in business, your online presence, your social elements, your website element, if you can really hone all of that in, your business can truly become unstoppable. And it just takes being smart and a strategy and the right elements in place. And if you're the business owner that had that little shakeup in 2020, business suffered a little bit, maybe you muddled through, maybe you didn't, and you're looking at it going, I've got to, like 21 is the make or break year. I got to rebound or I'm out, kind of thing. That should be the shining light that says, I've got to get with the times. I've got to do something a little bit different than I've always done, and really put the power that I know is out there at my fingertips into it. And that is something that I know we've spent a lot of time. This partnership and what we've been able to pull together, folks. We brought it together through the holidays. We kind of week after week after week, right through. We talked a lot to our existing clients on Monday about this, but it was like week after week after week. Roger and I went to JP and Jessica and kind of challenged them with something, and then they came back with something that was pretty good, and then we had a challenge out of it, and they had some more challenge, and it took a couple weeks to really hone this down. But for Roger and I, this has been like a 3-month project of just really digging in, looking into a lot of things, uncovering opportunities, finding what made sense to get it to this point specifically for 21. Like that was our goal. We got to get this live in 21 to really help anybody that needs that piece to make or break it right this year. So if you're sitting out there and you're watching this live, you watch it later on a replay, whatever the case, and you're starting to have that aha, like, all right, I think I need to just explore the topic. Reach out. Head over to topresultsconsulting.com, book yourself a strategy call. We'll jump on it. If we got to loop others, if I got to bring Jessica into a call or JP into a call or Roger into the call, we do it, right? That's what we're here for, to figure out what's the right move for you and your business and what's the right opportunity. What's the right resource that we've got at our fingertips? Where does it make sense to get you going to really make an impact? Because at the end of the day, I know that's why Roger and I call it top results, top results. All we care about is you are getting the top result. That's where we're at. And I know social soaring is because it's all about, they want you to soar. So between soaring on the top result side, right, you should be crushing it. You should absolutely be killing it and looking at all of your other competition who's out there struggling and know that it's because you made a change that a lot of people are too afraid to make on it. So anything anybody wants to add before I sign us off?
I'll add one last thing here, going back to one of the things that JP kind of mentioned in regards to stats. I like my stat boy right there. Is like, I love it. Is every year the number of people as a society, right, grows that are using social media, right? So those numbers are not going down. They're just going to keep going up. And as it becomes, Shawn kind of got a little bit into kind of like, just as an example, kind of like the political environment and how everything, as it becomes more of a must just to communicate, right? More and more people are going to get involved. So if you're thinking, oh, my demographic isn't on social media, guess what? They will be very, very quickly. So that's one thing I want to kind of leave everybody with, that social media is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yep. And I'll echo that, because I think that that's important, because I think a lot of people, to your point exactly, is they're like, well, only young kids are on social media. But that's absolutely not true. I mean, like, my parents have social media and they post more than I do. Right. And so my
grandmother is 85 years old and she comments and posts and is in there daily. So trust me.
Stat. I'll leave you guys with the stat. 37% of 65 and olders are on social media. 37% of 65 and olders are on social media. So there is a market there to capture.
It's like 1.35-ish people. And for a lot of you business owners, that is your demographic right there.
Yep.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. Anything you want to end with, Jessica?
I want to thank you guys for having us on today, and just excited to go forward and see what top results we can soar with.
Oh,
look at you.
That branding. Look at that. Look at that. It's been a pleasure having you guys. Jessica, it's always a fresh thing to have a female involved. We were joking about that actually with TRC. We've only got a couple females in the whole mix. When Roger and I did our Christmas party, actually my girlfriend was the one that was yelling. She's like, you got to get more women involved.
I'll break up the boys club. It's fine.
So, well, you know what's funny is I'm the only dude in social soaring, and I've said that too. I'm like, I am the only dude in this company, and everybody else is all women.
Well, with that being said, folks, again, if you were out there tuning in live, we appreciate it. We love the support. Share this out. Get it out to all your different friends, family, anybody, any other business owners out there. And as I said before, do not hesitate. Reach out. We'll jump on a call. We'll talk about it. We'll figure out what it is that you need. What do you need to do to get to the next step? What's the right next move for you and your business? And together, we'll help you guys get there. And as I say every single week, until next Wednesday, till another episode of the WebBuzz podcast, here's to your success.